I'm frightened for my country. I've talked in the beginning about investing so much power in the elites. What about the financial elites, for instance? What about the incredible financial collapse we had? And I don't think we're fully out of it. Maybe we'll be okay for a year or 5 years or something, but I think it's going to get worse again. It may well do that within the next year, just collapse almost, or something. We passed the financial reform bill, which actually had more grit to it than I expected, but still not enough. And financial collapse just makes people more panicked. So put more power in the government, because it's our only idea, right? Which causes more atrocities, which will probably cause more terrorism, which probably causes more blah blah blah, vicious cycles. There was that stock plunge a little while back that just randomly jumped down and then up again. That makes me feel iffy about solidarity of the markets. I mean, they have created some new rules so that won't happen so much, but really I think there may be fundamental instabilities. I'm not an economist, but I'm worried. There's a guy who is an economist, wrote a book called The Second Great Depression, published it in 2005, and predicted depression between 2007 and 2020, for that whole duration. Well, I don't know if we're technically in the Great Depression #2 right now, but the guy seems to know what he's talking about, at least. Maybe it won't be that bad, but you know, I've read some of his stuff. He actually goes through numbers more so than you hear in most other places. And by the way, we have a climate crisis, global warming, and stuff. Biodiversity is down. Though we did create the first synthetic cell recently, so maybe we can invent new creatures to replace all the ones we killed off. I mean, that might actually be a possibility someday, I don't know. By the way, the fact that, or the idea that the economy may get worse may, stall industry, which may pump, less carbon into the atmosphere. So that's a sign. That's kind of cool. And the SEC is taking on Goldman Sachs in a lawsuit, which is surprising considering the amount of influence Goldman Sachs has over the government. So, a few good signs even there. And now I've gotten off onto other topics. Because even if we're good environmentally and financially and so forth, we're not set with morals and human dignity. There are other countries, by the way, who've been attacked by terrorists who still have greater standards of justice dealing with terrorists. We've become more and more corrupt, and what's scary is it's bipartisan now. For 8 years it was Bush's thing, and then Obama comes in supporting practically everything Bush ever said with regards to human rights. I mean, he changes things a little bit. There are a couple things that are slightly better. There are other things that are slightly worse, like having an assassination program and fully admitting to it and everything and being fine with that. Someday the president will have the right to just, just shoot people. Whenever he feels like it. Unless we do something to change this. But it's bipartisan now. Now it's Obama's thing, just as much as Bush's thing. And practically all of Congress is like, oh, okay, I guess it's cool to, avoid accountability for torture and stuff like theoretically we've ended torture, by the way. But I'm not sure that we have. And in any case, we're not prosecuting the people that did do torture. About 8 years in the Bush administration. Hasn't even been an investigation. There hasn't been a serious effort